12:31 NASCAR just handed the keys to a Formula One veteran on a military base for a race that has never existed before. June 21st, Naval-based Coronado, San Diego, the first ever NASCAR Cup Series race on an active United States military installation. A 3-4-mile street course that nobody in the Cup field has ever seen, never mind turned a lap on. And Trackhouse Racing just announced who's driving their wildcard entry. Kevin Magnussen, K-Mag, 185 Formula One starts and 0 NASCAR Cup starts until now. But before you write this off as a stunt, you need to hear what this program has already done. Because the last time Trackhouse ran this exact car with a driver making his NASCAR debut on a street course, something happened that nobody in this sport saw coming. Project 91, that's the name of the program. It's a part-time entry the Trackhouse has been running since 2023, specifically designed to bring world-class drivers from outside NASCAR into a Cup car. Justin Marks built it as a bridge, a way to prove that elite racecraft translates. 3 drivers have sat in that seat before Magnussen. Kimi Räikkönen, Formula One world champion, ran it. Helio Castroneves, 4-time Indy 500 winner, ran it. And then Shane Van Gisbergen, who showed up at the Chicago street course in 2023, his first ever NASCAR start, and won on debut in the rain against a full Cup field. SVG is now a full-time NASCAR driver. That's what Project 91 did for him. So the question isn't whether this program works. The question is, what does it do for Kevin Magnussen? Here's what you need to know about K-Mag, because he is not a gimmick. This is a guy who podiumed on his Formula One debut, first race ever, top 3. He earned a pole position at the 2022 Brazilian Grand Prix with Haas. He has Le Mans starts. He has a Rolex 24 at Daytona start. He won overall in IMSA at Detroit in 2021. Right now, as you're watching this, he's competing full-time in the World Endurance Championship with BMW, and he just finished second at Spa in a hypercar. This man has driven everything. Fast, at the limit, under pressure. But here's the twist, and this one genuinely stopped me cold when I read it. Kevin Magnussen is not the first person in his family to attempt a NASCAR Cup start. His father, Jan Magnussen, also a highly accomplished sports car racer, made 1 NASCAR Cup start, Sonoma 2010. 43-car field. Jan Magnussen finished 12th on debut, 12th in a 43-car field on a road course, first time in a stock car. So whatever racing DNA Kevin Magnussen is carrying into San Diego on June 21st, it has already been tested at this level, and it passed. Now let's talk about what he's actually walking into, because the San Diego street course isn't just a new track, it's a new category of track. 3-4 miles around Naval Base Coronado, active military installation. This has never happened before in NASCAR's entire history. Nobody has data on this circuit. Nobody has a setup baseline. Nobody has run it in any series at Cup level. Every single driver on that grid is starting from 0. Which means K-Mag's experience disadvantage, the oval knowledge, the NASCAR-specific setups, the tire strategy, all of that shrinks significantly when the playing field is this level, and Trackhouse isn't throwing him out there blind. His crew chief is Phil Surgen, the same Phil Surgen who led Ross Chastain to 6 Cup wins and a runner-up finish in the 2022 championship. That's not a babysitter assignment. That's a winning operation put behind a driver they believe in. Qualcomm Technologies is sponsoring the 91 car. This is a marquee partner. This is not a fly-by-night sponsorship for a publicity stunt. There is serious money and serious intent behind this entry. Magnussen has already been to North Carolina. Seat fit done. Pit stop procedures learned. He's meeting the team, studying the details. He said it himself. They're just as excited about this debut as he is. That energy inside a race team matters more than people think. When a shop is locked in on a one-off entry, the preparation gets dialed up in a way that full-season teams sometimes can't match. So here's where we land, and this is the part I can't stop thinking about. SVG won on debut on a street course in conditions that should have favored the NASCAR lifers. He didn't just finish, he won. And that result changed the entire trajectory of his career. Kevin Magnussen is 31 years old. He just came off a decade in Formula One. He is not slowing down. He is not filling out his racing bucket list. He is still competing at the highest levels of endurance racing right now this season. If he runs well at San Diego, and I mean genuinely well, top 15, maybe top 10, maybe something nobody expected, does Project 91 become a longer conversation? Does Trackhouse find a way to keep K-Mag in the picture as Fiji set the template? The template works. The race is June 21st on a military base on a street course no one has ever seen, with a Formula One veteran who comes from a family that already has NASCAR in its blood. Here's what I want you to answer in the comments. Does Kevin Magnussen finish inside the top 10 in San Diego? And if he does NASCAR come calling full time?